bodily, or you mentioned autonomy, bodily autonomy, the sense that I own my own body, it's my body, I can do with it as I please, feeding into, of course, a woman's right to choose when it comes to abortion up to birth, as it is in the United States, is a profoundly philosophical idea rooted, I would argue, in kind of post-Enlightenment Western tradition, which has its roots in people like John Locke and Kant and Rousseau and so on. And it's very secular. Of course, in Islam, it's completely different. The Quran is very explicit that the universe, everything in the universe, including ourselves and our bodies, is owned by God. But we are not the owners of ourselves, because we are God's property, if you like. We are, and He is God. He is the Lord. That's a very different premise to begin with when it comes to what we do with our bodies ethically, isn't it? And the Western idea presents itself as you're right, as universal, axiomatic, based on human rights. But it actually, I would argue, it's rooted in very particular intellectual tradition in the West. There's a genealogy that you can trace all the way back to certain philosophers, certain thinkers, even back to ancient Greece, back to Aristotle and so on. And it's not universal. It's not Chinese. It's not Islamic. It doesn't come from sub-Saharan Africa. All these different civilizations, different worldviews, different philosophies and assumptions about what it is to be human, what it is to be a being in the world that is a divine creation. So there's a long way of saying that secularization, despite what it claims to be, is not neutral and objective to the extent that it has these assumptions about reality, about the life, the universe, and everything. That would be my take.
Yes, it's good that you mentioned this example of autonomy. We can say a few things about it. In Islam, the issue is much more nuanced, that I have autonomy over my body or not. It's not that simple. Like abortion, pro-life, pro-choice. In Islam, much more nuanced and complex than that. So when we speak about autonomy, for instance, the belief itself, aqeedah, is based on autonomy. Without autonomy, there is no belief. I have to choose. I have to be able to choose that I believe in God or I do not believe in God. If I don't have this autonomy, it doesn't make sense that I believe. But once I commit myself to believe in God, it comes with it specific limitations for my autonomy. Like, for instance, I choose to be an American citizen. I may choose not to be. I'm living in America, I got the green card, and now it's my right to get the citizenship. We say, oh, for citizenship, for instance, you can be summoned to serve in the army. But I'm a pacifist. I don't like that, and I don't want to be committed. Okay, then you say, I will not accept it. So you commit yourself to a system of belief. It means your autonomy will not be the same. Your autonomy will never be the same like the person who does not commit himself or herself to this system of belief. So there is, first of all, God's permission. Number one, without God's permission, you cannot touch your body. Like in euthanasia, you want to actively terminate your life. We say you cannot do that because the author of life is the one who can decide about its end.
That's why suicide is forbidden. It's haram because we're not the author of our life. It's a gift from God, and therefore autonomy there doesn't exist. There is no autonomy.
No, there is no autonomy in this sense.
In this
there is
sense,
no autonomy in this sense. But there is autonomy. So yes, we are not the owners of our bodies, but we are the trustees of our bodies. أمناء على الجسد. And I am the only trustee over my body as an adult person. So the physician does not have higher authority over my body than myself. Nobody has. Why? Because I am the one who will be held accountable before God about what I did with this trust, with this amana. He gave it to me, not to someone else. So I can say to the physician, don't touch my body. Will say, if I do not interfere, your health will be at risk. I say, I don't care. It's not your business. Why? Because it's my responsibility. It's my autonomy. And that's why we find in Islamic jurisprudence, even classical discussions, we don't have this concept of autonomy, but we have the concept of permission, al-idhn, that for the physician interfere in one's body, you must have permission from the person. Al-Izn.
Right.
We have this from the earliest books written about it, like Adab al-Tabib by Al-Ruhawi, the etiquettes of the physician, works of Islamic jurisprudence, and so on. And this is all autonomy, but not the autonomy that we understand in the secular sense.